Mick Foley is quitting WWE over their connection to Donald Trump. Drew McIntyre insults Cody Rhodes and his feelings about John Cena's retirement. Solo Sikoa goes off on a fan, and we got even more reactions to John Cena's final match that are definitely angry. We'll get into it right now. It's Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Kevin Kellum. Get in the comments below. Let's get into this entire situation with Mick Foley. WWE hardcore legend and Hall of Famer Mick Foley says he's, quote, parting ways with WWE. And it's due to some people in WWE having close relationships with the divisive U.S. President Donald Trump following the president's very insulting comments towards the late great movie director Rob Reiner after he was allegedly murdered along with his wife. Foley noted in his statement that he also added the administration's ongoing cruel and inhumane treatment of immigrants and pretty much anyone who looks like an immigrant. Foley also clarified, last night I informed WWE Talent Relations that I would not be making any appearances for the company as long as this man remains in office. Additionally, I will not be signing a new Legends deal with my current one expiring in June. I love WWE and will always treasure my time with them, and I'm deeply appreciative of all the opportunities they have afforded me. But in the words of Popeye the Sailor, I stands all I can stands, and I can't stands no more. Considering that former WWE executive Linda McMahon is a part of the Trump administration as the Secretary of Education, and Paul Levesque, Triple H, the head of WWE Creative, is serving on the President's Physical Fitness Council, yeah, maybe Foley has his political objections to the way that WWE has a relationship with Trump. Now, obviously, if WWE is going to punish anyone for having an opposing position against the Trump administration, I don't think they're doing that either. But no matter what, you have to admire Foley for taking a stance on what he believes. There was a title change on WWE NXT this week, and there is some controversy involving it. Let's go there. Yes, a title change that has some controversy associated with it. According to Fightful Select, a title change that wasn't planned but happened due to a pinfall that is still being questioned. Did the referee count too fast? Was it supposed to be 3? Thea Hail is the new WWE NXT North American Women's Champion, defeating Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe, formerly in AEW as Mariah May, and the count is still being disputed. Some fans watching it around the world on TV and on social media claim it's kind of obvious. Others saying it's not, but no matter what, Thea Hail is now the WWE NXT Women's North American Champion. Is Drew McIntyre using Cody Rhodes' reaction to John Cena's retirement as fuel for their feud? In a post on Twitter, yes, I still call it Twitter, Drew said, "Is there a camera rolling? Yeah, okay, just stay on me here," as kind of his inserted caption on a moving video of Cody Rhodes lingering at ringside, simply looking at the pair of shoes and ring gear that John Cena left in the center of the ring after his emotional retirement this past weekend. One where Cody was visibly moved and a part of the big send-off for John Cena post-match. Now, Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes are involved in a deeply emotional and personal feud on screen. But is this too much? I could see some fans thinking it's too much, but everything out of John Cena's final match is already being used to propel other characters, including the guy who retired him, like Gunther. How about the boos that Gunther got this week? So it's pro wrestling. Everything is game for a storyline, right? All right, let's cover Solo Sikoa and that viral video of what he said to a fan at ringside. On an upcoming episode of SmackDown with Solo Sikoa and his MFT crew going at it with the Wyatt Six, he kind of hightailed it from the ring along with his boys to be heckled by a fan at ringside along the entranceway who was really giving it to him, yelling, "Boo! You suck! You suck, Solo!" And she continued by saying, "What the are you looking at?" Solo's response was cold, savage, as the kids say, savage, when he responded with, "Your fucked up makeup." This is some all-timer one-liner stuff. Some people coming down on Solo saying he doesn't have enough personality are not paying attention, especially in moments like this where he just pulled that one out of thin air. And that shook that lady to her foundation, the foundation on her face for the makeup she was wearing that apparently wasn't looking that good. Seth Rollins has revealed a recent WWE intention for Cody Rhodes and how it's influenced by John Cena. Let's stomp our way into this one. Seth freaking Rollins had a lot to say while speaking to Games with Names. He revealed that Cody Rhodes, in his comeback and everything since then, has a specific intention behind it, saying, quote, "They were hoping they could groom him to be in the John Cena position. When he left WWE, top brass didn't see him as that guy. When he came back, the hope was that he could be." Since being reintroduced to WWE in 2022, Cody Rhodes has been in a particular top babyface position, even when he wasn't the champion. He was rolled out in a surprise match that everyone saw coming a mile away at WrestleMania 38, defeating Seth Rollins in a show-stealing match. In terms of a character that attracts the similar audience of John Cena, I can see what Seth Rollins is saying here. And John Cena certainly gave Cody a big level of endorsement on the way out, dropping that title to him at SummerSlam. But let's try and forget WrestleMania 41, right? A sports media outlet has gotten a lot of attention for their take on John Cena's retirement tour and the grade they gave it. Let's talk about Bleacher Report. In a review that has been making the rounds on the internet, Bleacher Report has graded the entire John Cena retirement tour an F. That's right, an F. A grade that I got likely on an algebra test many times back in school, but that's neither here nor there. We can see this grade. And what did you grade John Cena's retirement tour? They said in their review, quote, "Instead of finishing on a high note with a legacy-defining finale, Cena's retirement tour was a series of wasted moments." And obviously, they're getting a lot of attention for such a negative review, but things that don't get nearly as much attention is middle-of-the-road reviews. I would grade John Cena's retirement tour a C-, like by a thin margin. Yeah, they really kind of turned the ship around after the heel turn. I love the match with Dirty Dominic. I love the match with AJ Styles. There were some highlights when he turned heel. It was shocking and wild, but fans simply didn't want to ride with it, and WrestleMania 41. There I am. I mentioned WrestleMania 41 again. That was bad. Let's cover an unfortunate injury update to a WWE Raw superstar and a member of the Judgment Day. The Irish ace, JD McDonagh, unfortunately is going to be on the shelf after he underwent surgery on his hand. In a post on social media, he said, "Been working through some stuff for the last few months, but now it's time to pump the brakes and get put back together. Won't be long, BRB." This isn't the only injury issue for McDonagh in 2025. Earlier in January, he suffered broken ribs and a punctured lung after a nasty spill during a live match on Raw against the War Raiders. Sportskeeda wrestling news videos dropping every single weekday. Plus, check out our recent deep dive into why John Cena's retirement match ended the way it did. If you got a hot take or an opinion on a story you heard in this video, well, get down there in the comments. We want to hear from you.